It's the Best in Horror Countdown 2020, looking at the best horror films released between October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020. This one focuses on some irreverent and downright weird films. Let's get funky. Welcome to the official Best in Horror 2019-2020 countdown on ML Miller Frights, a part of the Kings of Horror Network. I'm ML Miller. Be sure to give this video a like, share it with your buddies across the electronic superhighway, click subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you're in the Chicago area and love horror, you have no excuse not to head out to the Chi-Town Movies Drive-In for the Music Box of Horrors. Every night in October, for 31 nights of horror, there will be late shows Sunday through Thursday and double features every Friday and Saturday night. Every weekend is themed: Grindhouse Fridays, Rip-Off Saturdays, and Sequel Sundays. Tonight, they are going to be playing a double feature of La Llorona 1933. It's one of the first stories about the Weeping Woman, and also the 2020 version of La Llorona, which is on Shudder right now. Look below for a link in the schedule where you can get tickets and directions to this awesome event. Number 19 is Butt Boy, available on digital download and on demand from Epic Pictures Group. It's also streaming on Tubi. Butt Boy was released on April 14th, 2020. It was directed by Tyler Cornack and written by Cornack and Ryan Koch. I shit you not, pun intended. Butt Boy is awesome from beginning to end. It depicts an absurd world and satirizes serial killer and detective films smartly. Butt Boy does all of this with a straight face, and god diggity dog damn if it doesn't work perfectly. Like off-kilter cult classics Rubber, Hobo with a Shotgun, Father's Day, and The Greasy Strangler before it, Butt Boy is a film that will make you wonder how it got made, and then ever grateful that it was. After going to his first proctology exam, Chip Goochel, writer-director Tyler Cornack, awakens a superpower he never knew about or wanted to have. He can shove anything up his ass and make it disappear. This power becomes a curse, an addiction for Chip, who starts small with a bar of soap, but soon steps up his game to the TV remote, then to the family dog. Finally, the urge is so overwhelming that only people can quell his appetite for ass play. After quitting cold turkey and joining AA, Chip thinks he has kicked the habit and attempts to live out a life of normalcy with his wife Anne, played by Shelby Dash, and his son Marty, played by Tyler Dryden. But the urge is always there. When his AA leader asks him to sponsor police detective Russell Fox, played by Tyler Rice, Chip's urges return, and soon people are going missing again. Russell is assigned to the case when a new kid goes missing, and he begins to suspect his sponsor Chip is the asshole he's looking for. Butt Boy shouldn't work. It relies heavily on lowbrow humor and has an absolutely ridiculous concept that feels like it should be a skit for some mid-tier comedy troupe. But the film commits to the bit and plays every beat of Butt Boy straight as an arrow. This is a serial killer thriller through and through, with a hard-nosed cop pounding the beat, trying to track down a killer before more people fall victim. If this were simply about a guy who snatches kids, it would have been a gritty cop drama. It just so happens that this perp's main weapon is his ass. That's the beauty of this film. It tries its damnedest to check every police procedural and detective noir box in terms of genre cliches, and does so seriously and deftly. Everything from the way this one is filmed with a gritty lens and lens-flared street lamps to the unsteady synthesizer music from some guy named Feather reeks of a 70s cop drama. Russell Fox, played by Tyler Rice, looks like one of the younger Baldwin brothers trying his hardest to do a Columbo impression. If you're a fan of any of those old detective shows like Columbo, Kojak, Beretta, and Mannix, you're going to be a fan of Butt Boy. Despite the ass stuff, it looks, sounds, and feels like a lost episode from that era. In tone, it reminds me of Adult Swim's Assy McGee animated series, where no one blinks twice at the inane concept. In fact, I demand a Butt Boy Assy McGee team-up pronto squanto. Tyler Cornack is amazing as Butt Boy himself, Chip, whose deadpan delivery and apathetic way of walking through his sad life is hilarious all the way through. Chip knows he's doing wrong, but he simply can't help it. And seeing him try to cope with the outlandish and insane ramifications of his newfound power is sublimely hilarious. While the humor and gore are definitely meant to gag and nauseate, it's the ever-present tone of absurd straightforwardness that makes this one stand out from most films I've seen this year. I know many will scoff at Butt Boy, writing it off as a gross-out horror film. It is indeed gross. But it's also a damn fine movie. It takes someone pretty smart to make a story like this work, and Tyler Cornack makes it with a wicked sense of humor, a skillful hand, and a hungry ass. This film looks professionally done, too beautiful than it deserves. Go into Butt Boy with an open mind, a mind eager to be entertained. Embrace the lunacy. In dire times like these, we need insane comedies like this one. See it, smell it, love it. In case you weren't offended enough with Butt Boy, try this irreverent oddity on for size. Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway was released on June 1st, 2020. It's available on demand, digital download, and DVD from Wellgo USA. This film is directed by Miguel Llansó. Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway is not a horror film, but that doesn't mean it isn't one of the creepiest, strangest, and most off-kilter films you'll watch this and in any year. Sometimes nightmarish, sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes so loony that you feel like the entire cast and crew need to seek serious mental treatment, I present for your consideration the unforgettable Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway. It's the year 2043, and everyone uses dial-up computers. Agents Gagano, played by Daniel Tedes, and Palmer, Augustin Mateo, are CIA agents assigned to protect a universal program called PsychoBook. An evil Russian agent named Stalin is threatening to destroy PsychoBook, so Gagano and Palmer log on and enter the program. Their avatars, which appear as Gagano and Palmer wearing paper masks of Richard Pryor and I think Robert Culp, battle Stalin, and Gagano is mortally hurt and stranded in PsychoBook. Meanwhile, Palmer escapes and ends up shacking with Gagano's wife, the hardy and healthy Malin, played by Gerda Annette Alikas. Malin is having doubts with her relationship with Gagano because he never listens to her dreams of opening up a kickboxing studio, and all he thinks about is pizza. Meanwhile, evildoers inside of PsychoBook, Mr. Sophistication, Carlo Puranti, and Batfro, Solomon Taish, stand in the way of Gagano ever escaping. If only he can survive the triple threat of Kung Fu Masters Spaghetti, Ravioli, and Balthazar, and a pair of evil fly monsters. But don't worry, Jesus knows the way to the highway. Got all that? Well, I'm not going to repeat it. Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway is a truly unique film that experiments with style, format, and pretty much every aspect of the filmmaking process. It's part rudimentary animation and part what looks to be claymation using human form as the clay. People move and act in ways they shouldn't. It's as if filmmaker Miguel Llansó is able to tap into our nightmares and pull them out to play with on screen in front of you. This isn't a horror film, but it still has so many unnerving aspects to it that you can't help but feel unease while watching. The masked characters inside of PsychoBook creeped the shit out of me, with the way the masks moved, when the characters talked, and the staccato way they moved all around the place. There's something simply wrong with this movie. That said, everything is played straight. Despite the bizarre characters, the odd situations, the weird little vignettes and tangents, and the odd effects, this is a pretty straightforward action-esque film with unconventional players. Star Daniel Tedes suffers from some kind of spine ailment, but this isn't one of those films that exploits Tedes' handicap. Instead, the film really allows the actor to shine and gives him a very nuanced and meaty role to play. I was blown away by Tedes' acting, his comic timing, and his unique presence. Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway is as unpredictable as it comes. You never know where the story is going or what kind of threat Tedes' Gagano is going to encounter next in this vast world of PsychoBook. While those who need everything explained are going to be pulling their hair out at this one, Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway is a wonderful addition to the irreverent, sublime, and uncanny genre of films like The Greasy Strangler, Rubber, and this year's oddball flick, Butt Boy. Whittled together with random parts from a junk drawer of a madman from a million moons away, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, like Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway. For some, That'll be a good thing. But I hope to see much more of Daniel Trudess, Miguel Llansó, and the rest of the lunatics that made this madcap movie possible. That'll be it for today. Check back in tomorrow for my next pick on the countdown. Please chime in down in the comments and let me know what you think of these films, how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own list. If you like this video, please pound that thumbs up button. Share this video with your social media addicted pals. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on mlmillerwrites.com. That's where you can find the rest of this countdown as well. Don't forget I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks that you should look for. GRAVETRANCERS is out right now, and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, will be out in late November, early December, Diamond Order Code APR 201712. And be sure to subscribe to this channel, and ring that bell for notifications, so you can be the first to see my future videos. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality.